All right, in stretching the hamstring muscle, understand that the hamstring originates in the base of the pelvis, right on the sitting bone, and the hamstring inserts behind your knee, below your knee, and when the muscle contracts, it bends your knee like this. So to stretch that, we've got to move this point where the muscle inserts as far away from the point where it originates as possible. Stretching the hamstring muscle means increasing the amount of length in the muscle from where it inserts here behind your knee back to the sitting bones. So by straightening our leg, we're moving this point of insertion away. Now we need to move the other end of the muscle away. The sitting bones are the ones that you feel, the bony points that you're sitting on. So to move those back, you can either lift buttocks tissue, move that out of the way, and then consider that you want to move your pelvis forward so that those bones are moving back at that angle. As you come forward, you're going to feel the stretch in the muscle into the area behind the knee especially, and as you bend forward at your waist, think about touching your chest to your knees rather than touching your nose to your knees. We don't want to bend just the lower back. We want to move this pelvis backwards so that we're stretching along the back of the thigh. So the stretch looks like this. We're going to hold this for 30 to 45 seconds to allow the myotatic reflex to release. As you hold the muscle, continue to breathe. As you exhale, you may be able to drop more deeply into the stretch. Just continue to hold that, let it release, give it the time that it takes for the muscle to relax, and you're done. The next muscle we're going to stretch is the hip flexor. The hip flexor, or psoas muscle, originates on the front of the spine and inserts onto the front of your leg. When the muscle contracts, it brings those 2 points closer together. This is why a sitting posture often allows that muscle to grow shorter over time, and then when we stand back up and we stretch the muscle out, it pulls that other part forward so that we end up increasing the curve in our lower back and putting more stress into our lower back. So we're going to stretch that by moving the insertion further away from the origin. Stretching the hip flexor muscles, we're going to start by standing next to something like a coffee table or the side of your bed. We're going to take one giant step with whichever leg is closest to the table, all the way forward and dropping down onto our other knee. Once you're in position to start to stretch the hip flexor, pretend that your hips are like handlebars, and without turning your handlebars to one side or the other, bring your handlebars straight ahead, a lunge position. As you do so, keep your back very erect, because if you bend forward, since the muscle originates on the front of the spine, you're bringing it closer to its insertion and you're relaxing the muscle. So keeping an upright posture, fine-tune the stretch by bringing both hands to the tabletop. As you do this, allow yourself to sink into the stretch just a little bit, dropping down, and as you do, you'll feel increased stretch, in this case, my left hip, on the side that you're stretching. As you relax, you can feel the stretch drop in a little bit more. You can turn a little bit closer towards, and rotate your spine a little bit closer towards the table to accentuate the stretch. To come out of the stretch, just rotate back and push back up.